himself, and he doesn't get in. And the Seahawks are going to win the game. Line up with a power formation, and you got L.J. Collier and Leno Hill are the two guys who are there.
Freeman, the running back. It's 3rd and goal. Lock. End zone. Touchdown! Number 2 for Sutton.
Hello, and welcome to the official Madden League 20 podcast. I am your host, Dave Randlett, owner and surveyor of the New England Patriots, the 3-3 New England Patriots. And with me today, I have my co-host, Tyler Johnson, and longtime fan and friend of Tyler, we have Derek with us tonight.
Hey.
So, gentlemen, how are you guys doing? How's your season going?
Fantastic. I'm leading the NFC West again, so.
You're in charge of the NFC West right now, huh?
Yeah. Thanks, Drew.
Yeah.
Just no contest there. It's just
See,
got it.
You two. I've got what are the Cardinals 6-1 right now?
Yep.
And the Seahawks are 5-1.
I just lost.
5-2. Oh, you're right. You just lost to the Niners, who've improved to 4-3. My game model is a little bit behind. So Derek, Ty, I'm curious about your guys' game last week. How did that one go?
Ty can share his perspective first.
Let's hear from Ty on his big victory.
Well, you know what? It was a great game. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of we played each other a lot, being in divisions before.
Oh
We
yeah.
played a lot last year, so
Watching you two play
other.
is one of my favorite matchups. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. We know each other's tendencies, and we can still kind of get away with the things that we can do.
Right.
We're used to it with our teams, but that was a fun matchup. There was the only issue I have in the whole game was there was a key pivotal turnover. An Andy Isabella punt return to where I was jamming that Y button like 5 times and he never put his hand up. And then he just gets blown up. The only forced fumble in the whole game. And then it goes for a touchdown. That Madden fuckery. But besides that, it was great, and I'm already excited for Week 11.
Now, Ty, before Derek speaks, I want to hear from you, Ty, on just your experience playing against that Seattle defense in general.
Oh, it was terrifying. Every time I got tackled, it was like my TV shook.
So I played. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was the only way I was gonna get out of that game was if I did the ball carrier adjustment conservative.
Yep.
Try to juke. Take what you get, and that's it.
So I played the Seahawks in week 2, and Derek hadn't joined the file yet because he was joining on the 13th or something. And so I had to play the computer Seahawks. And I mean, I like the idea of competition and playing users, but playing that stacked defense, I was a little bit thankful that it was not controlled by a user because they were like destroying me. As far as just Bobby Wagner, I like to run the ball, obviously, and Bobby Wagner is just a monster. And you can usually, like, for the most part, middle linebackers in this game, they're a little bit slower, and you can kind of get outside them and just deal with the outside linebackers. But Wagner is just stupid. Like, he's just, at age 30, he's still a monster. But, so Derek, how is it for you?
I love it. I mean, they toned it down a little bit because, like, Wagner would come off a block and then, like, you know, a step later he'd hit stick someone, like, right in the middle of the thing and caused a lot of trouble there.
Yeah.
But I love being on Seahawks again, and, like, that game against Ty. Just, I mean, we used to play a long time ago. Like, we had good games. We also had, like, a lot of wild ones where it's just, like, turnover, and then, like, this crazy stuff. But then learning each other's style, like, I can see Ty's formations, and I know there's like 3 plays out of it, and if I guess right, it's good. But Murray, man, he's hard to stop. He's quick.
Have you, with your, just the way your defense is set up too, obviously with Wagner and Adams being the big names, I mean, just combating what Ty can do with his offense, do you feel like you have the defense now that can match up with it?
I think it contests it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Nobody wants to run on you. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. But Mike's passing, like, I got lit up today by Jimmy G, man. It's like,
hey, I know all about that.
Yeah. My pass rush is weak. That's one hard thing.
Yeah. Well, I think this rounds out nicely too, because we should talk about the new member to the NFC West with Drew taking over the Niners. And I got the first serving of that new edition, and he seems to be taking his jump into this team with a very cerebral approach. I don't know if you guys have listened to his podcasts, but he literally told me what he was going to do before we played, and still just destroyed me. He's very careful, and you're right. He does a good job managing Jimmy Garoppolo, and I think maybe, I don't know what his throw power difference is between him and Dak Prescott is, but he seems to fit Drew's style well.
I was actually going to point out that Jimmy G is based Dak Prescott. He's a little bit slower, but like they are pretty similar stats, so he's already used to playing with that type.
Is he younger, or is he the same age?
I believe there's
They gotta be
actually
neat
a year
clothes.
older.
Oh, no kidding. So
Yeah, he's just a little bit worse than Dick in a few, but
so it's really not that huge, the difference.
yeah.
So while we're talking about recent games, definitely I'd like to get an opportunity to talk about my game against the 49ers. That game kept me up at night after I went to bed. And not all losses do that for me. A lot of like the worst loss for me when talking about playing Madden, especially in a competitive league, the worst loss is the one where you go into it with a plan. You're able to execute your plan for the most part, and you have like 3 or 4 things that you know you mentally did wrong and is 100% your fault, and you've got nobody else to blame but yourself, and so you just have to own it. And so I played Drew, and my first mistake was I was trying to match his score before the end of half. He was up 14-7. I got the ball, threw a nice bomb to the outside on the right safety, caught it, and I thought I had stepped out of bounds. I looked up at the time. It said 27 seconds left on the clock. I was in field goal range. I'm trying to tie this thing up before the half. He's going to get the ball. So I don't want to go to halftime down 14-7 and then give him the ball, and maybe we're looking at a 21-7 game. So I look at the clock, 27 seconds. I go down. I'm starting to look through my plays. I'm sorting through what I want to do for the next play. When I had looked at the clock and it said 27 seconds, it did not appear to be moving on my screen. And so then I click on the next play, and next thing I know, we're going to halftime. And I was so shocked. Like, apparently I should have looked at the clock longer because I never used a timeout. And so I wasted an opportunity there. And like, I got to give Drew it. Like, I have to hand it to him. He did a great job. not making mistakes, where I had like a couple mental errors that just killed me after the game. And so hands to him, hats off to him, I guess I should say. He did a good job. But I don't know if either of you guys watched that one at all.
Oh, I didn't get the chance.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it either.
Yeah, no, he ran the ball well, obviously with Mostert, and just took care of the ball with the passing game. And Jimmy G is good. He ran. The one thing that really caught me off guard was he was running some QB sneaks with his backup.
Yeah, he did that to me today too.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Franklin.
Yeah.
Franklin.
Yeah.
That was the other. Aside from a couple other things, I had thrown to my tight end, and he had Richard Sherman on my tight end, and I did not expect it, did not see it, and made a bad read, threw that pick to him. But he was doing little things all over the place that I wasn't following. Like I didn't see. When I'm lining up my defense, I wasn't checking his quarterback, and next thing I know, this guy's scampering past my lineman. I didn't realize Franklin was this speedy quarterback behind him. It was just a bad job on my end. But Drew really has jumped in strong with the Niners. I'm impressed.
Oh yeah, he's embraced it, and it's gonna be a tough race every single year between him, me, and Derek.
Yeah, 100%. Now, looking before this, obviously we missed last week with a podcast, so we've got a little bit of ground to cover here. Any games of within the last 2 or 3 weeks that you guys saw or were a part of that stood out to you or you wanted to talk about?
I mean, I played Sam, and I thought it was gonna be like, I didn't expect it to go the way it went, to be honest. Just with his like last file and everything, but yeah, Adams and Wagner kind of changed it a little bit. So
yeah.
Pulled through.
That was Southern Sam.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he's pretty good, and he's got his team too, just like you have your favorite team.
Oh, is he a Vikings fan?
He is a hardcore Vikings fan, yeah. If that makes any sense. Yeah, no, Ty, how about you? Any good games?
Yeah, another game. It's one I didn't see, but the Washington football team beating the New York Football Giants.
I watched that game. That was a great back and forth for like the first couple quarters was just them hammering at each other, and eventually the football team just frankly outlasted the Giants. But that was a close game, closer than the score suggests anyway. I think Justin. Going into that game, I'm looking at Justin versus Jacques just as far as user history in the past file, and I thought Jacques would be able to take the early win, but Justin's coming out with a vengeance. Dwayne Haskins threw for 2 touchdowns and was 12 of 15, and then he just handed it off to Gibson and Geis all day and kept Jacques guessing where he was going to go with it. It was a really good game. It's good to see. It's good to see Justin take an early lead in that division, and now there are only 2 users in that division, with Drew out of it. So
yeah. So it's gonna be between those two, and having that early win.
Yep.
Is gonna be huge because Giants are a team that could be 14, 13, 15 wins. So if you're the division mate.
Yeah. So looking at you both are in the NFC. Looking at the conference right now, you guys, do you have any favorites for the 1 and 2 seed this year?
I gotta look at the division here real quick. I mean, like the whole NFC.
Oh man, I'm so haphazard today. I've got Gamer Huddle up in front of me today, and for those listening, I have to apologize. This is probably the least prepared any of us have been for a podcast today. We're really flying by the seat of our pants tonight. It was a crazy week last week, and then today just ended up being crazy on my end. And but we're gonna give you something, and you're gonna listen to it. You're gonna like it, and next week's gonna be a lot more prepared. So this week we're gonna speculate who the 1 and 2 seeds are in the NFC in Week 8. And I'm gonna give you guys my names first, so you guys can chew on it.
All right.
All right?
I hope.
All right. So this is what I got. I got the football team being the best team in the NFC. Number 1 seed. And then I got the Cardinals number 2. Right now you're 6-1, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take you two for the 1 and 2, and then I'm gonna say we got 7 teams to go into the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the first 4 are going to be division winners, right? So you got football team for the NFC East, you got the Cardinals for the NFC West, you got the Packers are going to be number 3, and then you got the Saints and Falcons. Give me the Saints for number 4 with Devin. Oh, by the way, welcome to Devin, who's joined our file. This is how crazy it is right now. I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, this has happened. Devin has joined the file. Dustin. Oh, we got to cover the Dustin stuff. Okay. So, here we go. Devin is in. Devin is a friend of Drew and Lynn and Dustin O, and he is now taking over the Saints. The Saints were previously owned by Dustin G, as we all know. Dustin G had a lot of things going on, both inside the file, both outside the file. He is no longer with us. I totally understood and totally got it. I did not expect him to leave all chat channels and want nothing to do with us anymore. Hopefully, we hear from him again, because I had no problem with the guy himself, and I was glad he was in the file. But he's gone. Devin is in. Devin is taking over the 3-2 or 4-2 Saints now. Mike is currently at 2-5. So I'm going to take the Saints as the number 4, is what I'm trying to get at. Then as the number 5, give me Derek and the Seahawks. Now, I think you guys are going to both be top seeds in the NFC. I think it's just going to be a battle of who's going to win the division and get the number 2 seed versus who's going to be the top wild card. So, Derek, right now, just because of the most recent circumstances, I'm taking you at number 5.
It's fair. It's fair. It's good.
Okay, all right. And then give me Drew at number 6 with the Niners, just because he's getting he's 4-3 now, and he's got some ground to make up, but he is making it up. So we'll see. Your division is going to be so fun to watch. And then I'll take the Vikings at 7. So that's my NFC. Any thoughts on that? Good. None. All right, now we're going to the AFC.
No, I mean, I do actually.
All right, what do you got?
I don't know if you're making a statement or if you're just overlooking the fact that you don't have the New York Giants going to the playoffs.
No, I don't. Because I think Justin's going to win the division, and I think your division is going to outplay him for the wild card. The only, I think you're looking at the 7th seed being a battle between between Drew and the Giants. It was a bit of an oversight, but the more I think about it, I think the battle for the 7th is going to be between those two.
That's interesting. I mean, you could be right. I would not make that same ranking.
No, okay. So this is why we're here. So if you put Giants in, who are you taking out?
I would not include the Saints.
Well, somebody's going to win the division.
That's true.
That's a
yeah, that's right. Duh.
Unless the CPU Bucks do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight then.
I would have then the Vikings.
18 users makes the playoff race so much more interesting. So you're going to knock the Vikings out. Packers win the division is what you got, and then you get putting the Giants in instead of Vikings.
Yes.
So interesting.
Because in my rankings, I actually have the Packers for one. I think they're the dark horse. I think they're having a great statistical year. Aaron Rodgers is breaking the Aaron Rodgers curse of the man, and if that happens, and he's playing like a quarterback that rated should. That's a team that can win any.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I think also having the 3 of us in a division, it might push one of us out.
Yeah.
Just with extra user games, you know.
I feel like
the NFC West also plays the AFC East, so we have a plethora of users to get through.
Oh wow. So you guys just have a gauntlet of games.
Yeah. My next 4 games are literally everybody in the AFC East and Derek.
Wow. So how about that? How you feel about that number 2 that I gave you?
Yeah, right. Like I'm like shit. Okay, like he's confident.
Oh man, well
I'm not, but he is.
you can do it, Ty. I have faith in you. You're gonna give everybody the AFC East problems except for the Patriots. All right, so we'll go to the AFC. Derek, I'm gonna put you on the spot and give me your top 7 teams for the playoffs
Ooh,
halfway through the
yeah.
season.
Halfway through the season, let me look at his teams real quick.
Yeah.
So we got you and
Cody and Andy in the same
Bills,
division.
Yeah. Oh, Andy's in it too. That's right. So you guys got the other 3, man.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
slugfest.
so you guys.
And we're all like within a game of each other.
So it looks like the Jags are kind of the standout right now in the AFC, followed by the Titans. So
That's your 1 and 2 teams from last file right there.
yeah, and they're in the same division. That's pretty. It's a good division right there.
Yeah, it is.
And then the Chiefs, is Mike, right? And then,
No, he's the Falcons now. The
Oh,
Chiefs are
that's right, he
CPU
was
and they're
the-
killing us.
Oh man! All right, so I'm gonna go Jags.
Jags number 1 seed.
Yeah, I'll do Jags 1, and then I don't want to give the Titans 2 just because they're in the same division as the Jags. So
Yeah, no, that would make sense. They can't be 2. They'd have to be 5
yeah,
Yeah, they'd be 5 or 6.
5 or 6. Dang. Okay. So
or
then
7.
I'll give Cody because the Bills have a strong roster and he's
Yeah.
4 and 2 right now. Oh, he's on a lost 2 in a
He's
row,
actually
so,
5 and
but-
2. Gamer Huddle is
Oh,
updated.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I'm trying to
So-
fix Gamer Huddle right now as we speak, so you guys might have issues when you're looking at it.
Who do we got? The Raiders. Who's Lynn? He's 1 and 4 right now, or 1 and 5, 2.
He's 1 and 4, and then you got
Is.
Swans Broncos are 4 and 3.
Wow. Okay. They're down below the CPUs. All right. Then we'll go. So we got Jags, Bills.
Bengals or Browns, and then you got the AFC West as well.
I'll take the Bengals. I'll take the Bengals.
Bengals
3.
at 3. I think
I
that's a
like
good
that.
pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Texans been,
They just swept the Browns recently.
Yeah.
Did they? Oh.
They've given Joe his only 2 losses.
Okay. So then for sure that's a good spot for them. And then I'll follow up with you, Dave, right after that.
I can't be 4 only because unless you pick
Oh
the
yeah, because the Bills is 2. That's
Yeah.
right.
and then so you'd have to pick either Swan or Lynn or one of the CPU teams to win.
Looking at the Chargers. No, I'll take,
Yeah.
I'll take Swan. Swan figured it out last game, right?
He's doing all right.
Big
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah, and then you got that's not bad. So you got Jags, Bills, Bengals, Broncos as your 1 through 4.
I'd agree with that. Only personally, I think the Titans are gonna be number 1 over the Jaguars. I think they win but the rest
Yeah.
I agree with.
They have a really good team too, and really good users, so I could see it. So that'll be that'll change. Big impact there, but so 1 through 4, and then I'd say the Titans because
Yep.
they're gonna be like,
The other bad dog
right
in the
there.
league. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you'll slide in Dave. Right
Number
there.
6 sneaking in.
And then let's see.
Who's
I
that?
say
other-
Joe. Joe makes it.
Joe makes it. So you
Joe
got
makes it.
Andy missing and you got Lynn missing, which seems to make
Yeah.
sense based on the current standings.
Yeah, there's a lot of time to change, but I agree with all of that. Having 4 losses halfway through is tough. You gotta go on a streak, and you gotta hope some other teams ahead of you. do some big games.
Yeah.
It happened though.
Yeah, which makes so after the recording of this podcast, I'm actually playing Cody, and he's
Nice.
he's 5-2 and I'm 3-3, and as far as my relevancy, that's a big game as far as staying in the playoff race. I know that Andy just won, so he's improving. He's right behind me, and Cody has dropped 2 straight. I've dropped 3 straight. So this is kind of a big stop the bleeding game for both teams.
Yeah.
And I haven't
What
played him in a
time?
while. Last time we played, we're going to be playing, I guess, 9 my time, so 6 your time.
I might be able to catch a little bit of it, but I really want to watch it.
Yeah, that should be a good one.
Stay up.
Just stay up?
You guys. Yeah. Just play an hour later.
No. Last time I played out an hour later, I lost.
Well.
I know that it's not good for me, man. Well, that's some interesting. I mean, this isn't full-fledged power rankings, but it's always fun to predict the playoff seeding. 8 weeks before it comes out. I kind of like your lineup, Derek. I'd like to say that I'm going to win the division, but I have to prove it first. So I'm okay taking a back seat to Cody in the predictions, but I'm going to be gunning for him hard tonight.
Yeah. I mean, this game right here, it could change. Like, if we were to do this podcast next week and you won,
Oh,
it could
right.
flip right there.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Awesome. So let's talk about some league transactions. Some big trades here in week 8 as we're hitting the trade deadline. Ty, I'm sure you have a few things to say about that.
Okay. So there's a two-parter to this. There's I traded Chandler Jones for a first and a third.
Yep.
Needed to get the final old people off of my roster. Needed to clear up that cap space. I now have 65 minutes cap, so that's cool.
Yep.
And getting in more of those picks. So, but that was the consolation prize because Drew wanted to have some fun shopping Nick Bosa around.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure half of the people in the league, maybe more, all messaged him today and said, "Hey, here's my offer. What will it take?" And I was one of those guys. I had.
Oh, so you were in on Bosa. Interesting.
I was in on Bosa. Yes, I was going to trade Chandler Jones and some picks for him.
No
And
kidding.
I thought we had an agreement, but then more people started messaging him. So then you know how that goes, to where suddenly an offer is.
Oh shoot,
No.
man! I don't know if this agreement's gonna work no more. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it turns out they have the fun, trade Kittle and Bosa to Tennessee tweet and they watched all of us freak out and go, "Oh no," as they laughed at us. Joke tweet. And then he probably saw how much everyone was willing to give for him, and then probably thought, you know what, this is a player that should stay on my team, and I think that was a really smart move on his part.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Bosa even be up for sale. I was, to be honest, I wasn't one that inquired on him, even though I'm apparently in every trade, and I was surprised that he would put him up. I actually think it was a smarter move to hang on to him because he's so young.
Yeah, he's so young and like a 91 overall 22-year-old. Like
That's crazy.
That's insane. Yeah. X Factor. That's tough to give up.
Yeah, I don't think there's any offer on the table that it would be good enough unless it was a player of equal value plus, because you're eating whatever penalties there are as well.
He
26 million.
he wanted DK, and if there was anyone on the roster that I would trade for, like he was just like, name it. And like Bosa's the one that was like, I mean, that'd be awesome, but like DK is kind of my whole future, so I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's so talented, like Bosa. My defense would be ridiculous though, so it was
Yeah, you would have to give up basically having an offense in order to have that defense.
yeah.
So we have a smaller trade. Jags trade Tyler Eifert, tight end, to the Washington football team for linebacker Sean Dion Hamilton. Now, I thought about putting an offer in for Dion Hamilton, and I find that Matt and I are always going after the same types of player. But he is a sneaky, decent linebacker who can really lay the lumber down in the middle as well. I feel like it was a bit of a high price, though, to get rid of Eifert, but if you're going to develop your young tight ends in Jacksonville, I really am a big Oliver fan over there, so I guess that trade makes sense, but Eifert's still a serviceable tight end in a league that really seems to have a deficiency of quality tight ends. So that was a big move.
Yeah.
There
was also the Alex Mack from Atlanta got traded to Tennessee for a second and a third.
Yeah, Tennessee is making moves, huh?
They are. They're going all in year one, definitely.
Yeah. Trade. What did they make that? What was that trade? It was a couple of picks for him.
Yeah, second and a third for Mack. So they give up some of their future to get that another blocker for Henry.
Now Alex Mack is 34 years old, correct?
Yep.
So that's quite the acquisition for probably a 1 or 2 year. But he's a top tier center, so it's still he's getting good value. But man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that the trade is uneven, but I guess you just got to be willing to make that trade. I don't know. It's not a trade I would make, but it's a trade I understand.
Yeah, I think for Mike and the Falcons, I think it's a great trade for him.
Yeah.
For Dustin, it's dependent on does it give him a Super Bowl.
He has to have success this year for it to count.
Yeah, if they go to the Super Bowl with him, then that's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was what he needed to get there. But if it's not, then it's kind of hard to justify it, especially if he retires this year.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the Titans right now, and besides their right tackle, who is a 21-year-old, 68 overall rookie. Their entire line, the average age is 31.
Jeez.
so they just added more age to it.
So, yeah, I guess the philosophy is all of these guys are going to go at the same time. So, might as well load it up with vets and go for it. And like this, if there's ever a year to go all out for the Titans, this is it. They've got a great offense. They're getting turnovers like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gamble, but it seems they're having success, so I can see why.
Let's talk about the turnaround for Jordan and the Broncos. Have you guys been able to watch any of his more recent games?
I haven't been able.
Over
I
on the
haven't
West
caught
Coast
any.
over there?
No.
Yeah, I haven't watched him, but I've been watching his updates in chat as he's getting the hang of it more.
He seems to be. He seems to be. I don't know if you guys caught his game against me.
No, I didn't actually. I was going to ask about that.
So it was a rainy game in Gillette, and if there was ever like this game felt dreary, receivers were falling down, it was foggy, it was rainy, and I gotta tell you, I mean, I don't expect Jordan to run the ball, and he just ran it down my throat. Like, I did not expect it. Like, I'm playing the run for a little bit, but the whole game, he ended up winning. I believe the final was like 17-7 or something. It was just an ugly game, and for both of us for the most part. But when you play Jordan, at some point he's just going to open it up, and he never did. And so I'm the whole time playing the pass because that's what he does all the time to a fault in most cases. But no, he played a great game. He just ran it down my throat, and I was like, yeah, no, he's not going to do it again, and he'd do it again. And then I would say, no, he won't do this on third, and then he would do it again, and he just beat me that way. He went from, okay, I hate this game, I can't do anything that I want to do, to I'll do it the way it needs to be done to get wins, and now it seems that has opened up now he can run the ball. Now he understands the passing game better, and he seems to be leveling off, which is really great to see because a good Swan is always better for the league.
Oh yeah, that was one thing that for anybody that's really struggling early, especially people that got the game later, that's just it's a new Madden, and they did change some things, especially with passing, and they continue to bug it, which is fun. I'm sure everyone's experienced in the last game that they played today. At least one.
I have. How bad is the new patch?
It's up and down.
Yeah.
Derek, you played today. Did you experience any issues?
Yeah, that like rack just the ball just like hits the hands and goes like 5 feet the other way.
Yeah.
In a competitive game, that's more than frustrating.
Yeah, like I had Greg Olson on that, like it's just like 10-yard pass or something, hit his hands and just like it wasn't even like a try to catch it or anything. It just like hits the hands and flies. And then I had DK on like a really deep post, and it was kind of contested, but like he should have came down with it, and it was just like not even a fight for it.
So has there been anything released from EA? Hey, we know there's a problem here, and we're gonna fix it.
Not that I've seen, because I was playing around with it last night, and it was funny because I do it with no defense, and I just throw to like DeAndre Hopkins, and he would almost try to catch it with his elbows at times. On certain situations, and it seems like if your back is turned, it's a lot more of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And it does seem that there's an issue with using rack catches to where it'll hit their hands and then just plop off. So it's just a new thing to adjust to and mentally prepare yourself for when it happens in a game.
Yeah, I've got a big important game for my season tonight, so I'm a little bit like going into that.
And a PSA for anybody that didn't catch this: they changed how you slide.
That's right, because that needed to happen.
Yeah, I know, right?
Great, thank you. Everyone's been asking for that.
Yeah, obviously it's been way too challenging just pressing one button to slide.
So what do you do now?
Press that button. You tap X twice, but if you don't do the timing right, you can just do a regular jump.
Why would slide be a complicated button? Like seriously?
I don't know.
Because half the time you're just gonna fumble it if you do it the wrong way. Oh my word!
Yeah. Because having Kyler, obviously, I'm like, okay.
This is going to become a vent podcast. Is what this is going to become. Like what the hell?
I had to practice around with it, and one thing I've learned is whenever you usually slide, you're going to want to slide just a little bit sooner for that time, so you don't get sucked into a tackle.
Yep.
But what it'll do is your quarterback will slightly do an animation to jump forward, and there's like a tiny window to where if you press X again, it turns into a slide.
Why?
But if you get hit before it does that second animation, you get lit up. So, yeah.
I don't even that's just bad game design, and that's just they're trying to find anything that still works with this game and screw it up.
Yeah, right.
Oh my word! Do you? I don't get to watch many of your games, Derek. Do you scramble a lot with Russell?
I do, but I don't know, maybe 5-6 times a game.
Yeah,
so I'm not not always, but just I'll escape with him a little bit more so than scramble out.
Sure.
But today in our game, Jimmy G dove over Bobby.
And it worked?
He was trying to slide. Yeah, well, he was trying to slide, and it didn't, but he dove over him. It's
oh, man. I got to think about this stuff because I got Cam now, so I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
Mobile QB problems.
Speaking, I forgot to mention some transaction news in New England. We traded with the Green Bay Packers for wide receiver Devin Funchess.
I was going to say something when we were in the trade section because I like that pickup for a fourth. That's pretty good.
Fourth round pick. Funchess was 26-year-old star dev, and he's 26. And word to the wise, well, this won't matter because this won't get posted till after our game. But I have against this game with Cody, I have an opportunity to upgrade him to superstar.
That's for a fourth. That's
Yeah, so
the best pickup of the.
if I can pull it off, I mean, the win is more important, but it would be a double win if I could get him to superstar on top of improving my record. So, yeah. So I picked him up, used him against Drew, and then the following week I said, "Hey, you want to upgrade him more?" I'm like, "Yeah." So, yeah, no. So I was pretty happy with that pickup, and I knew that he was really. Adam was really looking to shop him, and I had kind of talked to him in the past about a potential trade, and then as we neared the deadline, I figured before we get to week 8, maybe I should put in for it. And so, yeah, he got a 4th round pick. He was looking to move on from Funchess, and he reunites with Cam Newton. So it should be a fun new addition to the receiving core, which is kind of, I mean, the Patriots receiving core is a bit awkward. So, yeah. Beyond that, you guys have any other news or things of interest to talk about in the league?
I had another trade in week 3. It was an under the radar trade, and understandably, but it's been one that personally I've really liked and I've been really happy I made it. Ryan Anderson, defensive end for the football team.
Yep.
I was I'm the kind of guy that defensively I'm always like making adjustments and changing around the zones and the schemes and stuff, and it bites me in the ass sometimes. But sometimes it ends up being exactly what I need to beat who I'm playing.
Sure.
And I was looking for a defensive end that if, say, like, I'm in a nickel and I want to have my purple zone guy go in man coverage against a wide receiver that this guy keeps throwing to, but I still want someone to like cover that side, having a defensive end that can go to the flat and like prevent the dump off to the running back, or the QB spy versus Derek with Wilson, all this kind of stuff. It's I need this mobile, fast, can play zone defensive end.
Yeah.
So I looked through all defensive ends and looked through their zone coverage, and this guy, Ryan Anderson, has 65 zone and like 81 speed for a defensive end. So I'm like, awesome.
Wow.
Cool. Yeah, and he's gotten me 4 sacks. He forced a fumble, recovered a fumble, got a touchdown, and blocked a field goal.
And he's made the Chandler Jones trade a lot easier, huh?
Yes, him and Hassan Reddick stepping up have made that just like, okay, well, I don't need to pay $20 million for a guy that's just going to get worse.
How old was Chandler anyway?
He is 30.
Jeez, and you got a 1st and a 3rd for him?
Yep.
Superstar ends, man. People want them.
Yeah, they do change the game. Like,
yeah.
Especially
in a game where pass rushing is a little bit more intuitive now. It's nice to have a player that can do it without you having to worry about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll. I know you've got to go a little bit early today, Derek.
I do. Yeah.
So is there any other things that you wanted to say? Any shout out to a player? Any call outs before you continue the rest of your season?
I don't know. Just to everyone, it's a good start to the new Philo. I think outside of the whole Dustin just up and leaving thing.
Yeah,
we got 18 strong right now. I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I don't think any of us saw Dustin doing that, but I think 18 users has been kind of fun, and it makes that whole playoff hunt even more exciting.
Yeah, it's nice that we have 18 instead of 16, because then it would just be like, who's the one guy in each conference?
Right.
That's not going to be able to go on,
Yeah. And I think balance in the conferences is interesting too.
Yeah.
But all right, Derek, we'll let you go, and we'll wrap up the show without you. But thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's fun.
Yeah, definitely we'll have you again in the future, and hopefully in a little bit more structured setting. This has been kind of hey, let's just sit and chat. So
yeah, it's good. It's good content.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Thanks
Good
for
luck on
coming
your
on,
game.
man.
Thanks, buddy.
I'll see you week 11.
I'll see you there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Ty, it's just you and I now to wrap up the show. Do you have any trivia? I heard there was some trivia coming today.
Oh, okay. We're gonna be doing that.
I think we should. We're up for a little trivia now. Especially that Derek's
Alright.
gone. God,
God, I know.
he's a
wouldn't
waste of
shut up.
space. I know. He would not shut up. He was he was talking over all of us.
He's like,
Oh, I think that's the best imitation of Derek I've ever heard.
yeah. Is this gonna be? We're still recording, right?
100%.
Oh, oops. Anyways.
Wait. Oh,
I was well. I was gonna make this a competition between the two of you, but we can just do this for you.
yeah. No, I'm
I
up
was,
for that.
All right. I was actually going to accompany this. I didn't know we were gonna still do this, but accompany this with Indian music in the background.
Well, you know what? I'll edit it in post.
All right.
You'll have your Indian music, and it'll start right now.
Lights fade.
Yep. All right. Let's enter this.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
It's time for India trivia.
I've missed this.
I know, right?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What can I do for you, sir?
Which two QBs have 21 passing yards?
Which quarterbacks have 21
Passing touchdowns.
passing yards? It's off to a great start.
Fantastic.
21 pass touchdowns. I'm gonna say one of them is Patrick Mahomes.
Incorrect.
Okay, let me. Can I ask a question to answer this question? Are any of these quarterbacks computer controlled?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. So that helps me out. All right. So which quarterbacks here have 21 touchdowns? Put me down for Kirk Cousins.
Is that your final answer?
Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers? Oh, no. Drew Lock maybe is in there too. None of them, huh?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. Who's the other one?
Daniel Jones.
Oh, and Daniel Jones. I didn't hear you.
Daniel Jones, yeah.
No
yeah.
kidding. No kidding. I would not have
Yeah,
guessed
right.
that with the running attack in the Giants.
Yeah, it seems they pass a lot in the red zone.
Well, you got to get them points. You got to upgrade Danny Dimes.
All right, which running back leads the league in broken tackles?
I am going to guess Derrick Henry.
Oh yeah, very good.
You say broken tackles and running back, and what? Who else is it going to be?
Yeah. Obviously,
Samajai Perine.
Michelle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The one rush he gets a game.
Yep. Samajai. He's kind of Indian, isn't he? Samajai Perine.
I have no idea.
He's not Indian.
I won't pretend to know.
He's not Indian.
I only know him because of Madden.
All right. What else do you have for me, Mr. Deli?
Which user player has the most catches?
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah. Are you cheating?
No, I have to know my opponent.
That's smart. Good. All right. Two players lead the league in interception. Who are they?
Are they both user controlled?
Yes.
Drew Lock is number 1.
No. Defensive.
Oh, defensive?
Yeah.
Dory Jackson in Tennessee is one of them.
Correct.
And then Stephon Gilmore in New England, right?
Correct.
Those are the two top corners.
All right. This is gonna get a little bit harder here.
All right.
To the easy one.
All right.
There are 4 defensive players that have 2 touchdowns. Can you name 2 of them?
There are 4.
There are 4.
Is one of them in New England?
No.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if one of my corners had 2 pick sixes. I'm going to say Adoree Jackson won.
Yep.
And
That's the easy one.
let's see. And I'm going to say... Who's been returning a lot of things? I'm going to say Boza. Boza, fumble, return, touchdowns.
Wow. No, we've got.
Oh wait,
so
Boza's only been
Georgia-
with Drew for two games. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I have a bogey here? Can I try again?
sure.
I'm gonna say. Young, the defensive end on Washington.
Ooh, nice, but
No.
you know,
All right, who is it?
we got Miles Jack.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore with 2,
Okay.
and then I didn't realize this. Janoris Jenkins, the surprise
Oh wow.
cornerback. Yeah, which is funny. Autocorrect made it Janitorial Jenkins.
Janitorial
Name
Jenkins.
for him now.
May he live forever.
He cleans up your mess.
Takes it home.
Yeah, takes it to the house.
Puts it up for 6. Wow.
All right. There's one team that has an offensive red zone percentage above 90%, and it's at 92. Who is it?
Let's go Giants.
Ooh.
No.
Vikings.
Vikings are the 92%. Wow, they score a lot in the red zone.
Yep, that they do. All right. Now, one team, lowest of the whole league, including CPU, has a defensive red zone efficiency of 60%, best in the league. Which team is that?
Including CPU.
Including CPU.
I'm looking at these CPU teams trying to figure out which one has a really nice defense. I'm going to say Chargers.
It's not.
It's not a CPU?
No.
Bills.
Right division.
Patriots?
Actually, New England Patriots.
New England Patriots.
60%,
I knew I've had a decent defense. I didn't realize I had the best defense in the red zone.
Yeah. That was a surprising little step there. Yeah. So it seems like the in between the 20s defense is where it's hurting the most. Rather than the red zone for you.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You know,
Bend but don't break.
Yeah. All right. So one team, user team, has had 20 flags so far, most out of all user.
Most penalized team? That's going to be the Broncos.
penalized.
Easy.
Oh, think, but it's the Packers.
The Packers? What are you guys doing over there?
I don't know.
Adam.
Packing things they shouldn't be packing. All right. What team leads the league with a plus 15 point turnover differential?
Titans.
Correct.
Yeah, they're
Now-
turnover happy.
And now, assuming this week gets played, of all these games, only like 4 have gotten played.
Mm-hmm.
But assuming at the end of this week, one user team will be last of all 32 teams in passing. Which team will that be?
Last in passing.
It's assuming that the Raiders get at least 3 passing yards in this game.
So a different user would be last in passing?
Yes.
My heart wants to say Dolphins, but my brain says it's not them.
Correct.
Huh?
Your brain's correct.
Dolphins, really?
No, your brain's correct that it's not them.
Oh, it's not them. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll take... It can't be the Falcons. I'm going to say the Raiders.
Well,
Oh, right,
they're-
right. I'm not allowed...
They are, but they've got a game to play, and they'll probably get more than 3 yards. So
Bengals?
knows?
Is it the
Yeah.
Bengals?
It is not the Bengals.
Who is it?
This is going to be a surprise. An absolute surprise. It was when I saw it too, because
Who's going to have the least passing?
It's got to be the Arizona Cardinals.
What?
Yeah.
The Cardinals have the least amount of passing yards in the NFL right now for a user?
And the number 2 rushing offense.
Wow. Would not have guessed that.
Identity crisis in the desert.
Oh, man. You got any more for the day?
No, honestly, yeah, it was a fun podcast. Obviously a little disjointed, but I'm glad we were able to get it through.
It's nice always to be able to have a chat with everybody and discuss where we're at. And it's good to catch up a little bit. It felt like we had so much to cover, and I didn't know what we were covering tonight. And also, for those asking or wondering, I am currently, this very minute, having some issues with Gamer Huddle. So I'm working on resetting Gamer Huddle and then putting our data back in, but it's wigging out on me, so hopefully that'll be fixed soon. I've re-exported all the information. I'm just waiting for it to hit the website, but it has not done it yet. So for those looking on Gamer Huddle and wondering, why can't I see anything? It's because I'm trying to reset stuff. So I will let everybody know in the chat when it's back up to the standards we expect it. But so far, Gamer Huddle has been great and a lot cheaper than Daddy Leagues, and it runs really nice when it's running. So
Yeah. I mean, like, it's Daddy Leagues have issues anyways, so it's gonna be basically the same thing, but no money. Like, why not?
exactly, and it seems to it just seems more accessible, and it's a lot better on mobile.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Daddy Leagues. Terrible on the
Daddy Leagues also, part of the issue we had with it last file was when I had first exported the data, I was not exporting it every single week. You have to you have to do that. I was exporting it every other week and then forgetting to cover the weeks prior, and so it's a lot more tick-tacky than Gamer Huddle. Gamer Huddle, really, I just hop on, do it, and it's done. And I'm also in a better routine now than I was then, so there's that too.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Well, Ty, thank you for joining I believe, is this our 5th episode of the ML20 podcast?
I think fourth.
Our 4th? I think this is 5, but maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but next week I'm really looking forward. We're going to be upping the standards next week versus this week. This week was just kind of a, hey, we have to do this and we missed last week. And I'm glad we could get it out. But I have some fun stuff planned for next week, so stay tuned. I'd also like to give a quick shout out to Drew, for his solo podcast. That has been an absolute blast to listen to. And honestly, if we could have more teams share what's going on with their teams in that format, it is really more interesting to follow, because now, okay, so Drew's talking about a user game, prepping for that game, he's playing it, then he's giving you the review, going into the next one. That's really interesting to follow. I'm eating that up. And also, shout out to him and Dustin as well for their podcast. They've gotten an episode in this year, and I know their next episode is supposed to feature kind of talking about defenses, so that'll be fun to listen to as well.
Yeah, I'm all for content.
Yeah.
It's nice to have something to listen to and going through the day and just kind of be up to date with what's going on in the league.
Yeah. Well, I work where I work is in a shop, and so I've got a pair of headphones on, and I'm listening to music all day. So anytime I'm able to flip on the podcasts instead, that's much better content sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So, well, Ty, thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for lending your ear, and good luck to you on your season in these next couple weeks before we reconvene. But I hope you do well and don't fail me in that number 2 spot in the league prediction I had for you in the NFC.
All right, that's gonna mean I'm gonna have to beat you. I hope you're okay with that.
If I beat Cody tonight, I'll be all right with you beating me.
Okay. Well,
But
then go Pats.
last time you said that I lost, though. So
Yeah. Well, it's true. Whoever I root for loses. That's like
root for Cody tonight.
Okay, go Bills.
Woo! All right, Ty. Ty, thank you for joining us. You all have a wonderful day wherever you're hearing this. And thank you for making this league as good as it is and as special it is. And thank you to Derek, who joined us and had to leave a little bit ago.